Hi, I'm Chris Plumb, head coach and CEO of Carmel Swim Club. This is the Off the Deck podcast. Off the Deck champions Carmel Swim Club's mission, teaching excellence through swimming for life. To more fully meet that mission, we are working on the Carmel Swim Academy. Carmel Swim Academy provides an entry point for more children in central Indiana to have access to life-saving programs. It's true, drowning is the leading cause of injury-related death in children ages 1 to 4, and the second leading cause of death in children 5 to 9. But there is hope. Participation in formal swimming lessons can mitigate the risk of drowning by 88%. We are compelled to use our expertise in swimming to make our community safer and to ensure every child has the opportunity to learn to swim. To learn more, visit www.carmelswimacademy.org. Very excited for our guest today. Our guest on the Off the Deck podcast is the one and only Kelly Pash. Kelly is you can now say a 2-time Olympic trial finalist in the butterflies, a 3-time NCAA finalist in 2021, countless state champion in Indiana, and just a wonderful person to coach and be around. Kelly, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful, and always great to be here and to talk to you. It's the one thing I could always say about you is, well, you pretty much knew where you stand, but like 99% of the time you came with a giant smile on your face to practice. And the one time you didn't, we knew something was wrong. So it was always obvious where you stood. So, yeah, why don't we just first start? We're coming off of trials, right? And it's an exciting time, and it's in between, and the Olympic Games are coming up, and you're one of those many, many people, right, who came close, but not quite. So, but at the same time, you had never made a final nationals before. In 2019, you were a B finalist in some butterflies and IM. And so, like, you kind of like hit it at the right time. So, like, I mean, how are you feeling right now coming off of two, like, what did you get, 5th and 6th? Do I have that right?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel really good about my swims at trials. I guess it's my first time swimming at Olympic trials, so I was just taking everything in. Um, I guess right now, like now that trials is over, we kind of hit that high and we really just like got back into training. So it's been kind of difficult because we still have one more meet of the season to kind of finish things up and wrap up the season. But yeah, trials was fun and it was, I don't know, I'm really happy with how I did. I'm super excited just to see where I go from that meet.
Yeah, well, I think there's nothing but upside. You're certainly trending in the right direction, but let's let's kind of talk about that journey, from NCAAs, you swim well, to trials, in preparation for that. How did you prepare? What were your thoughts? It's like so many people go to that meet, and I think, certainly don't go best time or come up short, and you had best times, and you're making it in the finals, always with a smile on your face. And what were you thinking? How did you prepare yourself for kind of like the most pressure meet there is that we've seen, right, or been a part of?
Yeah, I think something that really helped me before the meet was talking to people who had like experience because I had no experience at all, and I was nervous, but at the same time I was confident because I know I perform when the lights are on, and I love that, right? I love a good crowd. I love when the lights are going crazy and just like all that adrenaline. But I remember just asking like multiple people about their experiences and like how to prepare for the meet and just like give me any advice you can take or any advice you can give and I will take it. Like I wanted to prepare because I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like I didn't know what it was gonna be like.
And so you certainly, who were some of those people you talked to? I know I talked to Mitch, your
hmm
one of the assistant coaches there at Texas, a little bit, and he was excited for you. But who were you speaking with, and what advice were they giving?
Yeah. I remember, obviously I was talking to my coaches a lot, but Madison Cox really helped me preparing for trials, and just like staying true to yourself. And she's just sticking to your race plan. We've worked so hard on details all year, and just doing what you know how to do. And I also remember talking to Simone at like a national junior team camp or something. I remember I asked her like, what advice would you give to someone who's never been, because I really wanted to know like what she would say. And pretty much the same thing. You just like stick to what you know, and you don't let like all the hype and like the big like, I don't know. You know how it's like people make it such a big deal, and it is a big deal, but um like just not getting too nervous, because I think like that was one of the big things for me, is like I didn't want to psych myself out, or like I don't know how to explain it. Just I just wanted to stay true to myself and not make it any other like a different meet than like anything else I've ever swam, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love I think it comes back to a lot of times it's the story we tell ourselves. That's what we make true. And just hearing you talk about it, you were like, "Oh, I love when the lights come on," and like some people might
Hmm.
go, "Oh, I hate when everyone watches me," but your story is, "I love it when it comes on." And does that feel empowering to you?
I think it
Does that feel
does,
empowering
because
to you, Kelly? When
it
do you feel like you get strength from that, energy from that? Yeah,
yeah, I love the
go ahead.
energy. I love it. I like to perform if people are watching. I feel like I do well under pressure.
And I think for you growing up, you played a multitude of sports, but like, have you always loved that pressure? I know you were a big softball player. Did you love coming up to the bat when the bases were loaded? And did you love
Oh,
anchoring
yes.
relays? I feel like the answer is yeah.
I I love anchoring relays. I feel like with swimming, I'm definitely more confident in my ability with swimming than I was with softball ever. But I always loved like the spotlight. I mean, what was I pitched, and I whenever I pitched, obviously pitcher is a big very important role in the team. But I just love that. And I love like either leading off a relay or anchoring it. I love to get them started, and I love to finish. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And so how if we go back a while back, how did you get involved in swimming? What are some of your first memories of the water?
yeah. Um I remember like, well, both my sisters swam, so I followed them. Like everything that they did, I wanted to do as well. And I remember it
That's
was
better, right?
I just remember like summer swim team and how that starts off, and you get in lessons at a young age. But I remember, I think it was what, like a hammerhead, red and blue or something like that. And I remember my sisters were in the other groups, and I was never with them until I got older. Um, but I just remember like going through those stages at Carmel, like leading up each stage and following that, and just progressively getting to the top. So
Yeah, so you were so being the youngest, I felt like you're always, kind of trying to chase your sisters and Sam and Jackie. But so you and Sam never swam together, but you and Jackie, was it your 2 years or 1 year with Jackie?
I was just there for 1 year when she was a
For
senior,
one
I was a
year, yeah.
freshman. Yeah.
So had to be some special memories for you, right? Like being with your sister.
Yes. Yeah. I remember like one of the most distinct memories was that high school state meet with her, when she was on deck and I was on deck, and we were all dancing and having such a good time. And I'll never forget that. And even like the little things leading up to high school state, and like all the dual meets, and um, that Friday of high school state where we go out to dinner or lunch, and then we all go hang out before Friday prelim, or yeah, Friday prelims. Yeah, it was really special being able to swim with her, because I hadn't ever got that experience before.
Yeah, and then so you had your family, I know at trials all come out, and your sister made it out for one of your last races. Is that right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So my parents were there the whole time. And I had been hanging out with them, and there was talk about how like we're like, "Oh, Jackie, like you should come out. Like come on, like let's see if you can like make it happen." And then I like got out of my 200 fly semifinals, and she was there. She had actually watched me race. I didn't even know that she was there, but I got out of like the complex or whatever, and like she surprised me, and it was really fun. And then I got to like hang out with her, so that was nice.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I know, if we talk about, sports and growing up and the pressure that, the importance of family, but certainly, your parents are wonderful people, and I never felt any pressure from them. And what did you feel like? How did your parents support you? And what advice do you have to swim parents out there and because of your success?
Yeah. I would say like my I really liked how my parents like they didn't put a lot of pressure on me. It was always like I'm in control of my swimming, and like this is my sport. Um like I just like I was in charge of going to practices and like getting ready for meets, and like yeah, they helped me. They took me to practice. They took me to meets. I'm so grateful for everything they did for me, and they got me food and all of that and fuel, but overall, like swimming was always my sport. I swam for myself. Like I never swam to like try to impress my parents or anything like that. And I was so grateful that they never put like any pressure. Like sometimes, if I had a bad race, you can be scared, like, oh, like, what are they gonna think? Are they gonna be mad at me? But it was never like that. They were always like so supportive and just helped me like focus on the what was next. So I would just say like just I think just support and like I mean just not putting like pressure, just like allowing the swimmer to like have control of their own like abilities in their sport. I think that really helped me a lot, and just like having them there, but it like they were in the background because it was like I said, I was just always in control.
Yeah, and I love that we always talk about like parents having to uh, take care of the hidden training, right? And feeding you and getting to you the place. And but at the same time, just loving you for who you are. Like you were probably putting enough pressure on yourself and
Hmm.
you wanted to do it for you. Would you agree with that?
Yes, yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Um, but didn't I don't know if I have this right, but didn't your mom always make you pancakes in the morning or something?
Yeah, in high school, like I think that was more like freshman, sophomore year when my sister also swam. But yeah, no, it carried out throughout. But she would, like, they were the best because I also didn't drive in high school. So I also was so grateful that she would just give me the front door service and drop me off. Um, but yeah, she would always make me breakfast, and she'd pack my lunch, and she'd always have, or both my parents, I can't leave out my dad. They both always had like everything ready for me, which was so nice because you get to college and everything's on your own. So definitely learned a lot there.
A little bit of
So
a
grateful.
transition, yeah.
So grateful for everything they did. I miss it.
Uh, um, yeah. So maybe when we talk about just your success and the training that you had recently for trials, just to get back into that a little bit. I talked with Mitch, and he talked a little bit about this idea of this red, yellow, green training system, and you know, I don't really know much more than that. I have the idea that red means stop, yellow means caution, and green means let's go. But
Yeah.
you want to talk about your training and how you have used that to help you?
Yes. So this is new to me this year as well. This is something that Mitch and Carol have started just this season, but it's been super, super helpful for like communication between athletes and coaches, because we have our calendar that they send out, and it's like the whole month. So we like know what's coming next. We know what to prepare for. And like you said, like the green weeks are going to be the hard weeks. Those are pretty much train. Like, we're just going at it. And then obviously it's not all going to be green. So then we do have like the yellow, which is like more moderate. And then the red is like usually more taper going up to meets. But it's really helped throughout the season just to know like what we should prepare for and to come into practice with like that mindset of like, okay, here's what I'm going to do today. I need to be on it. Or like, okay, maybe today's not going to be as hard, but tomorrow is going to be a green day or something.
Yeah.
So
does it like just help prime you to get you ready for a certain day? And do you feel like the athletes are enjoying that? And is there any negative side to that, do you think, or is it all good?
I think it's really helped us because it gives us something to look forward to. Like, okay, next week is yellow week, so we're going to take it down a notch. But it can be intimidating when you see a full week of green.
Oh.
That could be like the only thing where I'd be like you got to put in the work. You can't be a good swimmer without putting in work. But seeing a whole week of green or 2 weeks of green or 3, whatever our peak training season, it was intimidating. It's like, oh gosh, I really got to be on it, like taking care of myself outside of the pool because we're going at it this week.
Yeah, and speaking of taking care of yourself outside of the pool, how have you managed being a student athlete? Obviously, Texas, high level athletics. I'm sure your schoolwork is demanding, and then you have your social life. And how have you balanced all of those things? And what advice do you have to maybe the younger student athlete out there looking to swim in college?
Yeah. I've been super grateful for everything that Texas athletics has provided us academically. I mean, they have tutors for us. They have study lounges. They have anything you really need to get you through the school year and to like get you good grades, Um, and school, they always say, school comes first, academics are first because they want you to do well in school. I mean, we're here to get education and swim, but yeah, I'd say like something that I like had something that's really helped me is that it can be really hard like mid-season where it's just school swim. So making time to do something outside of that, like whether it's just hanging out with a friend or all of our whole team got like paddle boards, so we go paddleboarding on the lake in Austin, and that's so fun. And that just like gets our mind off of things, and it's just like a little like reliever, like
Yeah.
it helps us like get back into a good like a mindset, take us away from like those stresses. So that's really helped me. But I'd say just like always keep yourself in mind. Like you got to take care of yourself. You got to be happy. You got to be healthy to get through all that. Like it can be a lot during the year.
Yeah, and what when you've gone to maybe, hey, like, oh, I'm really down, or it's really hurting, or I'm really struggling. What do you do? Are you talking to friends? Are you seeing somebody? Are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're going on the lake.
Yeah. Well, I'm like I like I love talking to people. So whether it's like calling a friend or calling home or going to see a friend or even um like they have like therapy for us here at Texas. So like they have therapists, and that's something that I've taken advantage of, and just being able to talk to someone different and like a professional. And they have like these like little therapy rooms here that um they were open our freshman year, but with COVID they took them away. But just like having those people where it's like they don't know your family, they don't know your friends, they can't you can't tell the coaches. You can like tell them anything. So
Yeah.
that's nice. And they're professionals, so they always they're always there for you to give you like information you need and help you out.
Yeah, and I just think it's so important to take the holistic approach, right? And you've got to, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So,
Yeah. And
and
that's yeah, it's hard because like I'm like I like I often find myself like things are building up and I think I can do everything. I think I can balance it all, but it's just hard.
no, it's demanding for sure to be an elite level athlete and go to school, and I mean, all the things. So, and one thing we, is kind of new this year, and I don't know if you have any takes on this, but this, this name, this image and like, have you thought about what that means for you, or have you heard athletes talk about it in Texas and what it all means and like what's it going to look like?
Yeah, I've heard like they've provided us information. Obviously, it's very new, so I'm
Yeah.
still learning. Um, I'm super excited. I think um, I want to go somewhere with it, right? I want to be involved. I want to put myself out there, and I want to create something true to myself, and I want to do something cool with it. So, but I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I've seen, like, some people getting sponsored, and it's so cool. I wanna be sponsored. I think that's awesome, but, um, I wanna I wanna, like, be with someone or, like, I don't even know. I don't know how it really works yet, but something that, like, kinda reflects on me as well, you know?
Sure.
Something I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, I mean, I think the world is your oyster there, and know that you have like the personality and the charm and the good stuff
Thanks.
in terms of the water. So,
Thank
I'm
you.
excited to see what that means for people. And I've often heard people say it's good for football players, but it's really going to even help kind of the non-revenue sports, maybe even more. So I think it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. Obviously, swimming is a huge thing at Texas, right? And so maybe we'll see some swimmers in the Olympics too, right? We're getting some good press with that. So
Yes.
we'll see what
Yeah.
comes out of that, right? So doing fun times. Well, we'll keep an eye on that for sure, Kelly, with you, and maybe this can be your launching point. Off the deck
Maybe.
podcast.
Hey, if anyone's listening.
Yeah, yeah. So we talked a little bit about why you chose college, or
Mhm.
the challenges, but if we go back in time, I think when you were being recruited, what did you look for, and what made you finally land on Texas? Because I know we have a lot of people out there on the podcast listening, trying to decide on what school they should choose. So how did you go through that process, and what factors ended up for you?
So I went I visited a few schools. I talked to schools and I feel like I knew what I wanted. I wanted a good culture. I wanted to go somewhere warm and I wanted good training facilities and the team like there's a lot obviously. The team and the coaches. It just everything together. I wanted it all to wrap together. And I think um, after talking to Carol um, and just like having experienced like our conversations and how our bond was, and just I took a few trips to Texas and I just fell in love with it. And it's I mean I don't know. I feel like like having those trips and like meeting the team and like actually experiencing it in real life rather than just like talking over the phone and like finally seeing it. I was like, I know.
You knew for sure, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And what advice do you have for those who are like searching and looking at, I know a lot of people are deciding on what trips to take right now, and
Hmm.
what advice do you have for those younger
Yeah.
athletes out there?
I would say like if you're I know a lot of people like and like I asked a lot of questions and I wanted to know a lot about the school and the team and all of that. But at the end of like what I really realized was that it was more about like the relationships and like who was I going to be on a team with, and like who's I going to be creating these relationships with, and training with, and like making these goals with, and who was going to help me get there. So just like finding those relationships and where you feel like you belong was really important. And I'd say like, trust your gut. Like, and it's like it's so important to be around good people and who you like to be around with.
Yeah, and I think when you look back at your time at Carmel and the team that you helped create, what were some of the items that you think you learned at Carmel, and what pieces have you taken with you to Texas?
I I feel like I learned so much at Carmel. I feel like that's like my foundation. I One of the biggest things I learned was just to be myself and to have fun, because swimming is fun. You can't take it too serious. You need to have fun with it. And I just know that, the coaches, you guys helped us have so much fun, and even like all the athletes together, like we just created that environment to always have fun together. Like there wasn't a practice where it was just like no smiles at all. Like I just remember having so much fun. And I remember something that also helped was like sharing our goals with each other. I remember we did that a lot in high school, and that really helped me to just be open, because telling other people your goals makes it so much more real, and that helped me get to where I am, and it helped me a lot. I even brought that to college, and I feel like that's really, really helped me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know we appreciate you representing Carmel at the trials, and everyone
Yeah.
here in Carmel was cheering for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know the watch party and things like that. People were excited for Kelly Pash and your Carmel roots, but you're now hook 'em, right?
Yes. This is my mom. My mom did the pinky.
Your mom just put up the pinky. We had to teach your mom how to do that right. So let's finish with some fun, fast questions here.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so if you could, you got to kind of switch gears here a little bit, right? So if you could choose anybody in history, present or past, to do a social kick with, who would it be?
Okay, so it's no one. Does it have to be fast?
No, be anybody you want.
Okay.
We're assuming that they know how to kick, right?
This isn't even like a celebrity, but my best and favorite social kicks have been with Madison Cox.
Okay, love it. Great.
Yes.
What song would you least like to pop up during workout?
High Hopes by Panic at the Disco.
You knew immediately. Would you rather swim in the deep end or shallow end?
Shallow end.
Long warm up or short warm up?
Short.
Are you early to the block or last to the block?
I'm last.
Yeah. What would be, if you could change the IM order, what would it be?
Okay, it would be breaststroke, butterfly, backstroke, freestyle. Got to get the breaststroke over with.
You need that dive and pull out to be over.
I know. I think it would really help me.
Petition to make that happen. Kickboard or no kickboard?
Kickboard.
Okay. Yeah, you like it. Yep. Would you rather be in a pool that is too cold or too warm?
Oh, that's so tough. I think too cold.
Cold. Okay,
because got to warm yourself up.
Yep. Lane leader or caboose?
Oh, that is the easiest question ever. Caboose. That is the easiest.
It doesn't matter who. Like, it could be some 8-year-old. Like, oh, you go ahead in here.
I know it's bad. Yeah.
You know what? I remember when you used to have practice, there'd be times it'd be like, especially a long course, it'd be like Kelly would start out at the very back, and 3,000 meters in, she's suddenly leading the lane.
I think what it is like I don't mind leading, but I'd rather just hang in the back for warm up and then once we get to like the main set, I'm like, okay, I should move up.
Well, you know what too? I'm the same way. Like I want my space, right? You know,
Yeah,
like
that's it. I need my space.
I need my space. Exactly. This might be a little bit longer, but what have you learned that you've had to learn the hard way?
I think something I've learned is that I don't wait, okay, something I've learned honestly, um, like I've learned about how like, you can't win every single time. And that's something that I had to learn the hard way when,
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't always won, but I love to win. And that's like when I don't win, I'm mad. I want to win.
Right.
And, being in college and even back in club, like it's so competitive. It's so competitive. And I guess it's fun because you just make your way up to the top. And it's hard to stay at the top, but you just got to keep making your way up.
I love it. I love it. Kelly, I appreciate you taking the time today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Is there anything that you want to tell the people or anything you're working on you want to share or anything before we finish up?
I think it's just, do what you love and love what you do. I mean, always have fun with what you're doing. Work hard and you can do anything you want, really.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it, Kelly. You got the joy and the smile, and it was so fun watching your trials. I know we have a couple more years of enjoying you, and maybe we'll see 3 years from now. Is that something you're thinking about, or is that too far down
Oh
the road?
yeah. No,
Okay,
I'm in. I'm
I
in.
love it. Okay, good
Yeah.
deal, good deal. Well, we will keep an eye on you, and I know certainly I will see you when you come back into town because
Yes.
you always stop by. And yeah, good luck the
Yeah.
rest of the summer, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again.